Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching another one of our videos giving an update on what our club's committees are doing. And today I get to speak with David Noall, who is the chair of the Youth Exchange Committee. David, how are you doing?
So far, so good.
That's great. That is a good, positive thing to hear. I like that. How are things, or really what has been going on with Youth Exchange prior to us going into this lockdown pandemic? Wow.
Well, we started the year. We sponsored 3 long-term outbound students and 1 short-term. Our long-terms went to Elizabeth went to Brazil, Isabella went to Chile, and Max went to Thailand. Unfortunately, with the COVID, normally they would return in June, and so they all ended up returning during the month of March.
Okay.
They all were able to get flights back home, and they did that. Our 1 short term, that exchange takes place during the summer, and so she was able to go last summer.
Mm-hmm.
She went to Finland, and then she was there for a month, and the short terms, then the student they stay with comes over here. So she hosted a student from Finland last summer for 4 weeks.
Oh.
Then this year we hosted 3 long-term inbounds: Ananya from India, Jessica from Mexico, and Alessandro from Italy. Alessandro was a little bit of a unique experience. He was a little bit immature, had a lot of problems with boundaries, and ultimately he went home early in January. That's never happened to us before, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Ananya was very active in the club, went to almost all the meetings, and she didn't know what she was going to do. India's been in lockdown for weeks, and her father was stranded in another city when the lockdown occurred. He didn't have time to get home, so he's been stranded. And last weekend, by Friday, all of a sudden on Friday, India announced a few days before they were going to evacuate their nationals, and she managed to get a flight out of San Francisco last weekend.
Okay.
So she's now sheltering in a hotel in Hyderabad, India.
Oh my gosh.
And she's going to be there for at least another week. I haven't been able to talk to her since then. I'll probably try to get a hold of her later this week. I put in an email out to her.
Okay.
And so she's holding. Jessica, our student from Mexico, is still here. She's not planning to leave till June.
Okay.
And so she's sheltering in place with a host family, and they're doing fine.
Okay.
We also worked on our Rose Festival float, which for the Starlight Parade, that's on the shelf. And we decided not to do the porch parade.
Okay.
So we've been active, and we had a pretty good year, but we had to end a little early. And
but would it be correct to assume that because there's such a process in place and a way that for years and years and years that we've been hosting both students as well as having the outbound students, that there was some, it wasn't totally, certainly we hadn't done this before, but perhaps we had a bit of a system in place because we're always taking care of these kids, and we were able to just be able to reach out to them and their families relatively quickly and just figure out and monitor what to do.
Yeah, everything really went smoothly. The host families were super hospitable. Ananya's family said they'd host her for the rest of the year if that's what it takes. But
He's great.
Luckily, she was able to get evacuated by the Indian government. And Jessica's family is doing the same. They said, you're doing fine. You're safe there. You might as well stay. Yeah. And so they're going to do that. So yeah, everything really worked out pretty well.
So is there anything more that the committee is doing right now? Any other monitoring or?
Well, yeah, this was to be our biggest year coming up. We were going to sponsor a total of 9 students, 5 short terms and 4 long terms, and because another club had one of their students drop out of the long-term program, one of our short terms moved up to that slot. So we were going to have 5 long-term outbounds and 4 short-term outbounds.
Wow.
However, a lot of countries have already dropped out of the process. Rotary International has said that they are going to make a final decision whether we're going to have a program at all for the 2021 year. And all signs are indicating likely we won't have a program next year. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're ready for it. We have the kids all signed up. They'd like to go, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I think it probably won't work out, but we'll see. They're going to announce in June. Rotary International is going to make a decision at their board meeting in June, whether to go ahead with it or not. So we've been getting ready. We have our host families all lined up. They're ready to go. But so far, we did have one student from that we were told we were going to get from Taiwan, and I got him all set up. He was going to be at Grant. Host family was all set to go, and he dropped out.
Oh gosh.
So right now we don't have any inbound students because none have been assigned, and everything's on hold till June.
Yeah. Well, is there anything that that the committee needs, or anything you can see? I mean, I understand everything's on pause, big time pause, but is there anything in the future that you could see that you might want?
Well, it takes all year to get ready for the following year. And so, yes, we're still looking for new members, especially we'd like to gather some younger members. Mm-hmm. Our biggest problem is reaching out to the schools.
Okay.
So we're particularly looking for members that might be interested or have children or grandchildren in the Portland Public Schools that can help us recruit host families. That's our biggest problem. Getting the outbound students, they flock in droves, and we have to make decisions who's going to go and who isn't.
Sure.
But finding the host families, we need to find at least usually 9 host families every year.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we'd love to have new members. Mm-hmm. A lot of our members are former host families, have been former host families or been exchange students, but that's not a requirement. Okay. And so it's a fun committee. You get to work with the kids. Yeah. And we're one of the few committees that has a formal online training program that teaches you what to do. You have to pass the test to participate fully. And so it's fun, and it's an interesting committee.
And the host families, they host just for 3-month periods? So
they host for 3 months. Once in a while, if we have trouble finding, sometimes they'll host a little bit longer if we're having trouble finding, but usually it's 3 months. Yeah. And we've had each family, they go through an online course as well about what it's going to be like, and then we make home visits to get to know them and pair them up with inbound students. So there's a lot of outreach work that goes on, and we'll still have to do that if we're going to plan to have an exchange year the following year. Right. Most of our kids, if they don't go this year, will have the option to say they would like to go the following year. Okay. During their senior year, and some of them will and some of them won't. So we'll see how that works out.
Well, again, I mean, it's been, how many years has our club, do you know, been doing youth exchange? Decades.
Yeah, I think it's been at least 20 years. Yeah, Bruce has worked on it for many years.
It's in place, how we do this and who to ask questions of, and like I said, all the training's online, and so I think it's such a great opportunity for so many families in town to be able to do this if they are interested. So should they contact you? Who should they contact if?
They can contact me. I'm in the directory, and or just either phone or email. Great. We're always looking for people.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's it. Thank you so much for the update. I've been wondering. I knew that there was a chance that some of our of both Jess and Nanya, maybe they were here, maybe they hadn't left, but one did and one hasn't yet.
One did and one didn't. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Great. Well, thank you so much for helming this every single year for the past many years. And it's
been fun. Yeah.
And everyone's loved it. Absolutely. Great. Well, thank you, and stay safe, stay well, and I'm sure I'll see you again in person sometime soon.
Yeah, good to talk to you.
You too.